We all see his stage presence, his golden Mach 9 energy, and that mega charismatic vibe. But what happened when he is just Jungkook at home with his family, off cam, no audience, no lights, just Sunday kimchi and course? That's what we're looking at today, through the eyes of the tarot. And trust me, this one is full of warmth, affection, and a lot of good boy moments. Let's get into it. So, as always, I use my pendulum to guide this reading, and here's what came out. From the Witch's Tarot deck, I pulled the Empress, Knight of Wands, and the Magician. And from the Lightseer Tarot, I pulled the Lovers, Queen of Wands, and the Strength. And here's something fun. While I was shuffling, the Emperor card literally jumped out of the deck. It didn't survive the pendulum selection, so technically it's not part of the main message, but I had to take a note of it. Why? Because it's immediately reminded me of the previous reading, where Jungkook's divine masculine energy was represented by the Emperor, and his divine feminine energy is represented by Queen of Wands. And now look at that. We got the Queen of Wands right here on the table, taking the Emperor's place. That tells me that in his home environment, Jungkook is more active in his feminine energy. And no, I'm not saying that he turns into sissy or loses his strength. What I'm saying is, around his family, he lets his guard down. He becomes this shooting, healing presence, and at the same time, unpredictable in a really fun way. The type to light up the room, crack jokes, randomly start singing while doing chores, and just bring that effortless warmth that makes a house feels like home. Now, let me break these cards down briefly before we combine them all into one juicy interpretation. The Empress. It is a divine feminine, nurturing, loving, earthly, mom vibes, emotional safety. Knight of Wands. Playful, fun-loving, sometimes reckless, but full of energy and passion. Magician. Self-reliant, skillful, capable, and can manifest anything. Independent energy. The Lovers. Deep connection, alignment, trust, and emotional bonding. Queen of Wands, confident, radiant, popular, generous, especially expressive in feminine ways. The Strength is silent resilience, inner power, not brute force, but steady compassion. And for the Strength, I clarified with Ace of Wands, means new spark, vitality, and courage. Eight of Swords is about feeling stuck or trapped mentally. And Nine of Pentacles is about self-sufficiency, independence, and maturity. First, I want to begin with the Empress, Lovers, Queen of Wands. This man is a nurturer, not just in a passive way, but actively giving, caring, and emotionally safe. He's likely the kind of son that helped mom with the groceries without being asked, or the kind of brother who listens without judgment. He's dominant but not intimidating, and that's very important to highlight. He doesn't use control to lead, he uses warmth, trust, and connection. The Lovers, Queen of Wands energy here really make me smile. It paints a picture of a kid whose mom gave him room to be wild and creative, not because he was reckless, but because she trusted him. This is not a kind of boy who goes around breaking rules for fun. He knows his boundaries, and that's why he earns so much freedom. And when I say wild, I mean fun wild, Knight of Wands type of wild, which is spontaneous, goofy, cracking jokes, full of life. He's the kind of kid who would tap spoon into his news at dinner, just to make the room laugh. And yet everyone loved him for it. Also, I would bet if Jungkook had a little sister, she'd be painting his face pink, purple, and calling him a fairy princess, while he was just sit there and be like, my sister is so cute. That's how gentle and loving he is as a family member. Now let's step into the magician and the strength with the clarifier cards. Here's where it gets really powerful. Jungkook is self-sufficient as heck. Like, this man doesn't need his mom to tell him when to sleep or how to live his life. He is the kind of son who would be like, Mom, don't worry. I fixed the leak in the kitchen and roof, did the laundry, and also make lunch for the whole family, and still smiles like it was no big deal. Magician and strength tell us that he is emotionally mature. He handles his burden silently. Not because he wants to hide, but because he knows how to heal himself. He doesn't go around dumping his emotion on others. He quietly works through it, then come back to support everyone else. Let's not forget those clarifiers. Ace of Wands. It tells me that he has this personal flame that keeps him going. It also tells me that this boy is full of ideas. Sometimes it's sneaky, sometimes it's funny, but never malicious. Yeah? Eight of Swords show that sometimes he feels stuck, maybe mentally pressured. I think this Eight of Swords is show up just to tell us if he got problem, he's going to take care of himself. Because the next card is Nine of Pentacles. This is the card of I'm minding my own business, right? So I think if it ever he got into trouble, I don't think his mom's gonna figure it out. Because he's gonna keep it to himself and solve it with his own ideas. Remember the Ace of Wands earlier? That's it. I think his mom's not gonna figure out, oh, my son is apparently not well today. He already solved the problem by himself. And that's why he show up as the strength. So, what kind of person is Jungkook in his family? He is the heart, the light, and the secret backbone. He's the goofball who brings laughter, but also the quiet magician who keeps things running smoothly behind the scenes. He is deeply loved, deeply trusted, and has a rare mix of playfulness and personal discipline. Not many people can balance both, but Jungkook does it with ease. He leads by example, protects through love, and holds his family close. Not with force, but with loyalty. So yeah, behind the tattoos, muscles, and the golden Magnite branding, Jungkook might be just the sweetest family man in the game. If you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. What role do you think Jungkook plays in the family? How do you imagine him as your brother? How would you feel if he was your son? And until next time, this is Emperor of the Night signing off. Stay kind, stay weird, and keep your tarot decks charged. Annyeong, Army!